Philippinization under Harrison. Philippinization, or placing the government in the hand of Filipino administration, was Governor Taft's idea. His policy is Philippines for the Filipinos, which is the beginning of Philippinization. During the administration of Republican Governor Generals, qualified Filipino were employed in the civil service. From municipal and provincial governments were also in the hand of the Filipinos. Steps were taken to employ Filipinos in the central and national government. Filipinos are placed under different bureaus in the government instead of the Americans. After Harrison's term was terminated by the defeat of the Democratic Party in the presidential election, the Americans only placed about 6% of the total employees in the government. It is a proof that Harrison's Philippinization was already enough to prove that Filipinos were already competent in ruling their government. Next, you have the Jones Law. William Atkinson Jones introduced two bills in the American Congress, but only one of it was approved, and it is the Jones Act in 1916. Stated there, the Philippines should have stable government to be established. Filipinos should be administered by them so that they can be fully prepared with their responsibilities and able to enjoy the privileges of complete independence. American government made the first indication the desire of making the Philippines an independent country. Important provisions. A government patterned after the United States. 3 branches in the government should be established. These are the executive, the legislative, and the judicial. Executive branch is led by the Governor General, appointed by the President of US and approved by the American Senate, followed by the Vice Governor, also an American citizen, appointed the same manner as the Governor General. Automatically, he is the Secretary of Public Instruction. We have the Cabinet, composed of department secretaries assisting the Governor General. Cabinets are appointed by the Governor General and approved by the Philippine Senate. Legislative power, or Philippine legislature, composed of the Senates, which is the upper house, and House of Representatives, which is the lower house. These are elected by qualified Filipino voters except for those representing non-Christian tribes. Judicial power, exercised by the Supreme Court, appointed by the US President and approved by the American Senate. Bill of Rights, considered as the most important provision of Jones Law. Bill of Rights is the freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom from illegal search, freedom from assembly for the redress of grievances, and other rights that are being practiced in democratic country. This was never enjoyed under the Spanish period. The legislature. Jones' law made the Filipinos enjoy larger measure in self-government. Before, it was an all-American Philippine Commission until the Jones Law take effect and let the Filipinos have also the responsibilities of making laws along with the Americans. It happened during the Philippine Assembly inauguration in 1907. Philippine Commission was replaced into Philippine Senate, or the upper house. Philippine Assembly became the House of Representatives, which is the lower house. Sergio Osmeña became the Speaker of the House, and Manuel L. Quezon was one of the Senate and later on became the President of the Senate. Philippine legislature was inaugurated in Manila on October 16, 1916 under the Jones Law. When Nacionalista Party won over the Progresistas on 1916 election, this party stood up for immediate independence of the Philippines. The Council of State. All the department under the executive branch is in direct responsibility of the Governor General, which is at that time it's Harrison. The creation of Council of State. It is suggested by Osmeña. It is composed of Governor General, which is the chairman, the vice chairman, which is later on it was Speaker of the House Sergio Osmeña, the Speaker of the House, the Senate President, and the member of the cabinets. The vice chairman, or Sergio Osmeña, recognized as the leader of the Filipinos, number 2 man in the Philippine government. Majority of the compositions are Filipinos except for the Governor General and Vice Governor General. Duty of the council was to advise the Governor General on matters of public importance. but Osmania's purpose of making the council is to widen the power of the Filipinos in the government system and make every law in its hand. Harrison became the presiding officer in initiating legislation because the Council of State and the executive or the Governor General was already sharing in making legislations. As Leonard Wood said from his biographer, the majority rules, which he meant the Filipinos. Harrison left in 1921, but the Governor General and Vice Governor is still Americans. It is still under the American authorities, but the Jones Law was able to pave the way of Filipinization, even if majority of those are in the hands of ilustrados or old Principalia class.